Yeah, we can all get along. It's fine.
Yeah. So Black History Month means we can't like incorporate white people?
Of course, but there's also like, I guess because without them, there would be no Black History Month.
Well, when you say it like that, it's like we owe Black History Month to white people.
No. They owe it to us.
Interesting. I you know what? I'm gonna write that down and we gonna get it. We gonna get into that.
And we haven't started yet, so this is like the pre when we just start talking.
She was sitting there like, nah, I'm putting that shit in. That's a fact. Where do white people fit into Black History Month? All right, cool. Welcome back to the How'd I Get Here podcast, the podcast for positivity, progression, and finding your own path. This is one half of the co-host, 4/4 of the team of the How'd I Get Here podcast, Mr. Brown, Broken Ugly. Jake, how you doing?
You said 4/4?
Well, because there's 4 of us. 1/4. My bad. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
I just got here, y'all.
Go ahead, big guy.
It's your boy Spence, King Aquarius, wealth strategist, living our best life on the How'd I Get Here podcast. And we're happy to have our new guest who was just on the TED Talk. But don't let me take the shine away. Jacob, introduce your friend.
My friend. Well, you hold so many hats, so I would not do you no justice. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Jelon Agnew.
Hey, y'all.
Please talk your shit, queen. Introduce your
My name
Is that a
thyself.
Millie Rock? Or was that just
that was a random dance that
It was a little
happened.
sturdy.
It was my excitement,
Okay.
you know.
Look at that ring.
My name is Jelon Agnew. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I have
LCSW.
a private practice where I used to do individual therapy. I'm shifting more into motivational speaking, trainings and workshops. I also just did a TED Talk in LA about generational trauma in the Black community. I also am an adjunct professor at Eastern Connecticut State University.
Oh, that's dope.
I'm also a real estate agent and landlord. And I'm also the shit. Like, clearly.
Okay.
Oh, man, this is great.
Ow.
You okay? That thing?
I'll be forgetting, yeah.
He's got a thing up his nose.
I do.
It's not a
Okay.
COVID test, don't worry.
I don't okay.
Like yours is on the side, mine's directly in the middle.
Oh, the
The
okay.
septum.
Did you just get it?
Like a month ago.
Not the whistle with the S.
With the septum.
Not the
I got something on my nose.
Alright.
the nose rings. They do a lot with the nose.
Well, shit. Welcome.
Thank you, y'all.
Welcome.
Thank you.
For every episode, we generally start. Big guy has. First of all, how do you feel about King Aquarius? His name. That's his nickname. That's what he calls himself.
It's interesting.
Okay.
No. All right. So one thing we're not like, I don't like ambiguity, right?
Okay.
So when I want to escape a question or I want to escape something, like, oh, that's very interesting. Tell me more. Right?
Yeah.
So what'd you think about it?
Well, in reality, I don't think anything. That's why I wanted you to give me some more information, so then I could give my.
Socrates.
I'm gonna need you to stop whistling at us. First
It's giving the guy from Family Guy.
Got some popsicles in the cellar.
I don't. No, I don't have a thought about it.
Are you into astrology?
A little bit.
I'm not, right? So, but everything I see about Aquarius resonates with me, typically. And I'm like, wow, that's really my personality type. So, now I'm just doing it to be a pest. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So generally, we start the episodes off with a question that ain't got nothing to do with everything. So, the big guy, you gotta.
Got it. So, do you have a partner?
I do not.
Okay, cool.
I'm single, like not just single, like single, like it's been a while.
Single. So like
yeah.
you could pack to spend the night bag and nobody calling type.
Correct. Spend a night bag got
Dust on it.
dust on it. It's still in the car, just in case. Right.
Oh, could it do?
But yeah.
Any like toiletries that need to be updated in that?
It might have expired. You know, it's all kind of stuff in there I need to look at because it's been a while.
Got it. So how do you, because, we like to over-communicate on the How'd I Get Here podcast.
Let's go for it.
How do you effectively, respectfully, tell your partner that they're annoying the fuck out of you?
Respectfully?
Yeah, I gotta zoom in on my face right there.
I feel like once it gets to that point, it's kind of a like, yo, shut the fuck up type situation. But I'm a therapist, right?
Yep.
Right? So we would have already talked about how to set boundaries when we need space. So I would use whatever language that we already established. That means get the fuck out my face. But it's whatever we chose to say.
So relating that to Kevin Hart, but not in a sexual way. Pineapples.
Correct. Correct, yes.
See, I think with me, like, when I look for a partner, I got my best friend, right? So I could kind of, all good jokes contain true shit. I could be like, yo, you kind of getting on my fucking nerves.
Right.
And like, yo, babe, like, go over there. And it's not nothing personal. And then afterwards we can come back together. Mm-hmm. And I said, like, yo, you kind of annoy me right now. That's just me.
Fact. Yeah.
I'm also not single.
He's singing?
But single. So
okay.
It would, that's why I said not single, like she said. So I'm just single. So it might not work. I don't actually know.
But like, so I guess if you're dating somebody, say you're dating someone, for like 90 days, right? And you get to the point where like, oh shit, like this
very specific amount of time.
Right. Oh, you gotta take a scroll back to like our timeline for dating episode. It's a very controversial topic, but
interesting.
So say we're 90 days in, right? And everyone has their different progression of relationships. So like some people after that 90 days they're ready to get into a relationship. So at that point, this person kind of sort of okay, but there's things that annoy the fuck, like just annoy you. How do you?
I got you.
Okay.
My biggest pet peeve, you know what it is?
Laziness.
People that chew with their mouths open.
Oh yeah.
I can't stand. I don't want to hear this. Even if your mouth is closed, I don't want to hear you chew. I don't know what it is. It drives me nuts. Right. This one time I was dating somebody and we were literally on the couch, and I literally looked at her and I was just like, chew quieter. She was like,
no, please.
she was like, what? I was like, yo, like chew quiet. Like it bothers, but anyone in this room knows my personality.
It's straightforward,
right? And I don't mean no harm by it. You get what I'm saying? So,
and I guess your partner just couldn't be a sensitive person,
right? And I'm not, and anyone that's dating me knows I'm not coming at you with any type of malicious intent. So like, cause I'll look at you and be like, chew quieter, and then I'll laugh right after, just so you know, like haha. But like
that would make it worse. I feel like. I guess it depends on the person.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the person.
Okay, let's flip the question, right? How would you want your partner to articulate it to you?
Ooh.
Well, I am extra. Okay.
Okay.
Here's extra. Here's me. So I actually appreciate when my person can be like, yo, I love you. I'm going to need you to sit the fuck down right now.
That part.
I kind of like that.
Okay.
I'm going to sit down. I'm going to talk about it on the way down. Into the sit, let's be clear. But I'm going to respect it. Like,
yeah.
I like this.
Don't tell me what to do, but I'm going to sit.
Oh man, well shit. That was a good question, big guy.
Thank you.
So today's topic, we are closing out February, and we wouldn't be doing a disservice if we did not talk about Black History Month. So we're gonna wrap up our, the month of February speaking about Black History Month, and I know everybody in this room was like, yo, what are we talking about? And I said, black, everything black.
Black stuff.
Your black things, black people. So that's what we
real black girl shit.
Yeah, we gonna see where this conversation. We gonna see where this conversation goes. But I have a first question. And I was watching. Anybody in here watch Raising Dion?
No.
Maybe an episode or two.
It wasn't Raising Dion.
All right, cool. Another chance.
My bad. Anybody watch Power Book 4? Nobody?
Book 4?
Yeah, they're on like the 4th spinoff. Tommy has his own show.
I've never seen any Power.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a little background. Tommy goes the white dude.
Cool.
Goes to Chicago, right? Because that's where his family's from, and he's stopping through on his way to LA. and he realizes he's got some family there and unresolved business, that he decides to stay in Chicago. Right? It's a long story short. So in the meantime, he finds out that he has a brother who's black, his I guess a half brother, right? Who lives in Chicago. Dude in the show is gay, right? And then I got to realizing, and this is like a known stigma throughout Hollywood, that a lot of black actors and actresses have to play a gay role just to get their breakthrough into Hollywood. And I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that, heard that, or anything. So I kind of want to start there. One, what do you guys think about that? And two, like, why is that? I mean, there's no way to say it's fact because Hollywood will never actually say. But if you go back and look, there's a lot of actors that had to play, and I wish I would have done more research to give y'all a list. But what do you think about that?
Has Denzel played a gay role, or I just can't see it?
Question.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't remember.
Like, I know Will Smith has.
And what?
One of his like first.
When he was
movies.
young.
Yeah.
Yep. Something. That's an it.
But yeah, I think that's interesting. I think
6 degrees of separation.
Yeah.
So we got it right here, right? Anthony Mackie and Brother to Brother, Will Smith, Forrest Whitaker. These are some big names.
Forrest Whitaker?
Tay Diggs and Will and Grace. Nelson Ellis, Wesley Snipes even played a gay character. The list goes on and on and on and on.
I'm sorry. I don't want to be that person, but like.
What, you trying to imagine Wesley Snipes playing a gay man?
Forrest Whitaker though? Like.
Bro, this is just my first search. I'm sure I could go down the list, but I guess it's a testament to saying, like, you know, black men and women have to work 10 times harder in anything. And this is Hollywood we talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially breaking into that type of career field is hard for people of color for a while, all right? So they're probably like, oh, this is a role that you're going to give me? I'm going to do it.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. What's the next thing, right?
Damon Wayans.
Yeah, but they like, they're a little out there anyways. Yeah, I think that's interesting. I didn't know that statistic.
I think it speaks to Hollywood's, or just America in general, the ownership they want to feel over black bodies. So if there's any barrier or anything to make us feel very uncomfortable, out of place, that we have to do to get to the next level, they're going to put it there. So I don't think this is any different. That's one. And two, on top of that, they understand the history of it's be black, right? the history of slavery and emasculating, you know, quote unquote, black men in front of other slaves. So I don't see this as any different than, you know, traditional things they would do, just to remind black people of, like, no matter what, we will always hold the key to that door.
And you always got to do a little bit more.
You always going to have to do something to get in there.
You know what's interesting? And I think it's dope, because what I'm learning about myself and just about life is that you need at-bats, right? You just need repetition. No matter what you do, you need repetitions, because you got to get better. Even if you fuck up, you learn from it, you move on, you learn how to not fuck up again. So I think it's interesting because black people of color, we get put through so much. People don't realize, like, you're really empowering us. Like, you don't realize this, but, like, there would be no LeBron James and all this if we didn't have such a shitty history. Because now we just have to go the extra mile. You realize anything black people do, we excel at? Like, there was just we just won first woman.
The speed skating?
Yeah, what?
Skating?
When you see
Sister
black people on
skating.
ice.
Wasn't even nobody behind her. Okay. She learned how to do that 3 weeks ago. You know we don't be on nobody ice. Okay. And nobody was behind her. Sis was living her best life. We do everything easily.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like.
Yes.
So it's interesting you say that. So does that same rule, because I know I highlighted men in Hollywood, but does this same rule apply to women, or is it even harder, one being black and also then two being a woman?
Absolutely. I think it's hard in a different way, but as a woman, there's always going to be some level of your body you have to give or show to get access to things. So I think this is just another example of that.
Right.
I've said it before when when it comes to women in business, especially black women in business, because they have to do so much just to gain respect. When you come at them, if you don't come correct, they're some of the hardest people to deal with. Well, not deal with, to work with, because they're not gonna. They know what they had to do to get there. They're not about to let you slouch. Like, you got to come correct. We talking business, cool. If not, like, oh, you don't know X, Y, and Z. I had to memorize that to even get in the door. Right. So like we not having a conversation. So yeah, it's again, it's a backwards way of empowering us, because they make us work so much harder than the average person, and then we just start taking over. Like, wow, we just start winning all these awards.
And then they change the rules again.
Every
time we start getting good, they change the rules.
Yo, these sneaky niggas.
Yeah. They can't stand it. They said we gonna do the ice. Sis said, hold my wig. Okay, there's no stopping us.
Like, you see how you did Simone? I'm gonna hop with this ice and bust y'all.
And then I love too that she like, nah, I'm good. I'm not participating in that. I'm not doing that no more.
Right.
Because y'all not going to make me go crazy. I know I'm the best.
I've been busting your ass for a long time.
Next. I love it.
And she supported the hell out of her teammates.
She sure did.
I love
right.
that.
That was beautiful.
So you said something, Jelon. You said about ownership, and you brought up slavery, right? So I want to bring up a two-part question. The first question is slavery really over? And what makes me think of that is I'll stay in the realm of sports, right? And maybe predominantly like the NFL, right? Because, the NBA, Adam Silver, the commissioner, is white, but he actually supports, a lot of like African American and people of color.
You said the NBA?
The NBA.
Of course, because we're 90%.
Okay, but then go to the NFL, where a lot of the players are of color, or minority, but then I don't think you have any white owners. Right? And then that's literally the word brings in slavery, right? Where like a lot of these people, you could bring in the CTE discussion. A lot of these people are putting their minds, their bodies, their spirits on the line for your pocket, your entertainment, but they're not really getting everything. Well, I won't say they're not getting anything back in return.
Right.
But so that arises the question: is slavery, in 2022 even really over?
Ooh.
And I just use the example of sports. This could be any. I could relate most to sports. You know what I mean? So if y'all have a better, example or.
Well, I'm gonna rephrase it.
Right.
As exploitation of black bodies, because I know somebody's going to watch this and be like, slavery's over, oh my God. So we're talking about the exploitation of black bodies. If you want to say, is that still happening? Absolutely, every single day in every aspect of everything. Absolutely. Right. And we see that with sports as well. They are literally, like you said, putting themselves on the line. And they get people with nothing and throw a couple million at them and make billions. It's the same process. They used to do this, again, during slavery, just watching us perform and sing and dance and play sports. It is no different, except now the people on the field are getting big checks. But when their bodies stop working, they discard them like nothing ever happened. It's the same process over and over.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I can't say that we're still enslaved, right? But
that's why we rephrased it.
Yeah.
That part.
Because when you talk about the jail system, we could talk about exploitation of black bodies in large numbers, and that looks like a very, very fucking similar system.
Yeah, for minimal
for some
crimes
shit
that
that's
are now
free
legal.
now that they're making millions of dollars on.
Okay.
Hello, America, can you hear me? Yeah.
So to your point, I feel like this is a generic question, but there's more to it. How do we break those what's the word I'm looking for?
Barriers,
those limitations, those systems.
Keep busting they ass. Keep playing their game. You have to play it harder.
You gotta play the game.
You
gotta play the game, okay?
Let me ask y'all a question to play devil's advocate, right? Why not create a different game? Because at one point we had Black Wall Street. You know what I mean? And obviously they came and took that from us. we know how that
They burned it
right,
down.
Right. But what if right? And this is like, I feel like every person's dream, but I don't think we are, I hate to say it, and this is one of my other questions about being our own worst enemy, organized enough to say, yo, what if every person of ethnic background, right? And I know it's Black History Month, but I like to say ethnic because the same thing they doing to black people, they doing to Puerto Ricans, and every
people of color,
right? But I just don't want to generalize. What if every person for one day just say, yo, we ain't going to work? What if we went and created...
to work for somebody, or like, what do you mean?
Well, all right, if you own your own business, then you got to go to work.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not going to work today but even then, you own a bakery, right? Black-owned bakery. That white man I was example.
Oh, I was excited. I was like, what do you sell there?
Elijah.
I'm hungry, guys.
Elijah, Samia Cafe, right?
Yes.
What if they decided, yo, we not gonna open? Just so you saying, oh, for somebody? No, I mean every person of color.
But what is that gonna accomplish?
It's gonna hit the economy a little.
You got to think, like, majority of the wealth is still white, unfortunately.
Okay.
Majority of the wealth in the country is still white. So the reason why, in my opinion, why I think you should play the game and bust their ass at it is because y'all created the rules.
They still have control over the rules, though.
Exactly. Y'all started this game, so like any game, once you learn the rules, there's always gray area. There's always ways to manipulate the system, which they've been manipulating for years. So yeah, they have a head start. But you bust their ass, and then when you at the table, now you create your own game because it's like, all right, cool. Obviously, your game's flawed because this was really easy. Like,
so what if we created?
Wow.
What if we created our own? What am I saying? Our own currency. What about that? What do you? And this is me just throwing out ideas, you know, to end the bullshit that. Yo, I took the 10 steps and I caught up.
It's too deep.
It's like this is America. Like, this is a capitalistic society. We were built on racism, slavery, all that. And it's like, yeah, there's no longer those things, quote unquote, like racism is abolished, but it's no, like, things like this that doesn't just, you don't wake up one day like, you know what, I don't hate black people anymore. Like, my grandfather hates them, but, you know, I think you're pretty cool. Like, part of you, like, there's...
I have a black friend in science class.
Yeah, right. I've had 3 black people over my house. Like, what?
Nah, I
so
really
it's
heard
like,
that.
That's just not something that's...
So you saying we just got to coincide in...
Well, I think there's room for a lot of different roles in the revolution, right? So we need some people in the system because they got to come back and tell other people how to get better at the system. We need some people on the outside doing whatever they doing. We need doctors. We need all of these things. So I think the revolution takes form in whatever way you want to take it, as long as you're working towards, to me, black liberation. Because I do think there is going to have to be a delicate balance of our own systems. Plus, again, there's access. There's always going to be a point where we need white people to access something. Land, food, water. There's always going to be something. So we need somebody who can navigate that system, or else we're always going to be
our own John Smith. For
Right,
lack of better terms.
Right.
And I think to your point, so a negative connotation that comes with black people is crabs in a barrel, right? So as we start to elevate and uplift ourselves, like, how do we now teach others who are stuck in a different mindset, that survival mindset, or the just, I'm not, you know, they're a little apprehensive. I'm really comfortable in this situation. I know if I hit the block, I can make $1,000 a day, tax-free, and live okay. And, like, you know, yeah, I'm going to have to escape the law, but I've met people in that lifestyle who are the smartest individuals. Like, they're business owners.
I was going to say,
you are running
those
a
are
business.
entrepreneurs.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
But because you grew up in a survival in the ghetto that was established by white people, learning to just make ends meet, you got a felony because you got caught, and now your entire life is just ruined. So, like, how do you go back now? If we 3 people want to elevate ourselves, how do we then go back and teach these people, hey, educate them properly, like, hey, you know what, there's a better way. You could be doing boom, boom, boom with your time, but then they're like, well, I have a felony on my record. There's a lot of things I'm not able to do. So now, like, it's almost up to us to create opportunities for these people.
I think yes, it's up to us to create opportunities for people like that, but you also can't help people who don't want to be helped. You know what I'm saying? And because you could come around and say, "Yo, listen, if you making $1,000 a week, I could make that $1,000 into $4,000, right?" But okay, Spencer, I hear you.
No. They be making $1,000 a day.
No, I know, but I'm just you get what I'm saying? Like, yo, I could really teach you how to do that right. But now I'm good what I'm doing. I made $1,000 today. I didn't get caught. I bought my girl a new Gucci bag. What I need you for? You know what I mean? They don't really
But these are all these are solid points. No, you know what I'm saying? I make more money than you, bro. Like, what are we talking about?
You get what I'm saying? But like, you can't help people that don't want to be helped or don't see a problem with how they're living. And I think to your point, how you said, oh, white people created these places. They created for us to stay there. And I think, and right here, one of the questions, are we our own worst enemy? Because, a lot of people say, talking about guns, right? Like, oh, they always say, oh, black people out there killing each other. Blah, blah, why should we go help them? Are we our own worst enemy?
What I will say, because I don't discuss black people's wrongs in mixed company. Okay? I'm not going to ever talk shit about no black folk in front of no other folk.
Heard you.
And I believe one of the pieces of the revolution is mindset. And that is where I come in of there is a different way of existence. And I'm not just talking, ghetto suburb. I'm not talking that because some of our very suburban parents are still in a cycle of serving massa and retiring and getting another job so that they're still in the cycle. Here's the cycle, right? So we're talking about people down here. Our parents are up here on a suburban level still creating the same cycles. So I really feel like mindset is a piece of it of there is another way of existing for us. But you gotta learn your history and understand who you are, understand your original human, understand there's magic in your DNA. That's first. And then second, we gotta talk about the trauma. We can't get past survival mode. We still in survival mode. So I don't want to hear about no long-term planning if I'm living day to day. So that's what I'm saying. So like I can't see
10 years out.
Right.
I see today.
Right.
Maybe tomorrow.
If so, tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I think that that's where mental health comes in of like part of the liberation is going to be we're going to have to heal this shit, man. It's so ingrained. And do we pull crab in the barrel? All of that. Do we have issues? Yes. And I truly believe that we can make some mind shifts. We just got to be open to it.
So how do we break generational trauma?
Well.
Hey, talk your shit, queen.
He said, I was hoping you asked.
Thank you for asking. I think we changed first generational trauma by acknowledging the fact that while our parents did the best they could, they were trauma parenting. So
I never heard that
I just made it up.
Oh shit.
But it's real.
No, for real.
Yeah. So we all have trauma that lives in our bodies, and this is what my TED Talk was about, based off of their own trauma, based off their own racism. So I think one of the first things we have to do is realize that the biggest revolution is peace. The biggest revolution is being in a thrive mindset. Once we can be in a thrive mindset, then we can talk legacy. I can't talk legacy with nobody whose body's in survival mode all the time. So that is one of the ways that I think that these things are going to change. We have to get out of survival mode, and that is a mind, body, spirit shift into a different way of being. And what happens in my practice when I see that happen with I work with majority of black women, you start losing stuff, people, places, things. You can't tolerate your job no more. Like it's a complete alteration to who you are, but that's what it's gonna take.
You talking some shit now,
right?
So it's so real because I've been going through that myself, right? And it's like to get to where I want to go. I know there's people I can't hang around anymore who I've known for a long time. Like I love these people to death, but it's like. It's like what do I like?
It's an energy conflict.
Yeah, and it's like, you want the best for these people, but I also know you are holding me back from what I'm able to do just for being around me. So I guess to that point, is it my job to try to educate and bring this person with me, or do I leave them behind and just go do my own thing?
Well, is leadership and teaching your role in the revolution?
Mm-hmm.
If so, yes. If no, go do what you got to do. Everybody can't be a teacher.
See, in my past life, I was like a leader, did a lot of research and like.
I mean, you still are in a sense.
Yeah. For sure. I think I don't believe anyone's a natural born leader. I feel like there's people who
I think they're a natural born leader.
You think so?
You ever see a 3-year-old and be like, and I need everyone to sit down right now?
Oh, yeah, it's my niece.
Sometimes you get bored like that. And you're like, wait.
And then, I guess as you grow, like you start refining those things, and you learn how to talk to people and
so
articulate. Yeah, like, listen, I know, to your point, I know if I was to tell you right now why you chewing like that, it's gonna be problems. Like like beef will occur. Or if I say, yo, listen, honestly, it's not proper to chew with your mouth open like that. It's really distracting.
Can't watch this show.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. So yeah, no, it's interesting. I think there's a lot of, and Simon Sinek, he's do you know who that is? All right, I recommend looking at it. I follow him pretty closely. He teaches on leadership, and like to be a leader is a lot of responsibility, because you not only have to make sure that you can't live for yourself anymore. It's like you have to live for the people that you're leading, because if I'm going to lead you, I need to understand what drives you, what you're motivated by, and I need to make sure my overall goal aligns with what you want to accomplish as well.
Say that again. You have to live for the people you're leading?
Yeah. So I don't want to say it's manipulation, but it's like if I have a goal that I want to accomplish, a proper leader knows, like, yeah, I could do this by myself, but I have a team. I have a crew of people who are looking to me, right? So now I can't just tell you, hey, you need to do X, Y, and Z so we can get here. I need to figure out, like, all right, cool. Like, how does Jacob tick? What are you good at? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? I'm going to be enhancing your weaknesses, but I'm going to play to your strengths as much as possible, because I want you to be in a good mindset. I want you to feel good about what you're doing. I want you to accomplish your own goals. That's going to accomplish the overall goal for everyone. That's not easy. But you're a soccer coach, so you understand this. Like,
right.
You understand, like, all right, different pieces. Like, listen, this scheme's not going to work with you. You work really well with this scheme, but like, you got to come out, bro. You ain't doing anything wrong. It's just like there's something else better for this position. You ain't working. Yeah, but that's tough.
It is. It's a lot of work.
And it's a lot of work trying to reorient someone's thinking that has been passed down with this generational trauma that you're talking about. It's been passed down for hundreds of years. All this baggage. Yeah, power to you.
It's like banging somebody's head just knocking all the bullshit out of it. It's a lot of work. And if leadership ain't your thing, be like the best things we have are models. So if you don't want to be a leader, just go be great. Somebody watching you
lead by example.
Just be.
Because I got my shirt say we out. Harriet Tubman. It's a couple of y'all motherfuckers Harriet would have left, because y'all like it out here. And that's fine. Some people don't got the time to convince you that you're a slave.
Hey,
and that's what I was saying.
Master said, "I'm a house nigga. I can stay here. I can read good.
He said,
I can cook.
I can eat the scraps."
Yeah, you
want to run it? Nah, bro. We got a farm over here. We make our own stuff. We got the ocean. There's free housing. He's like, nah.
Them dogs look crazy. Y'all want to run?
I don't even run that fast. It's all right, boo. You can stay. You can stay. We're not coming back for you though. So
yeah, facts. We don't hold it against you.
Funny as hell. So let me ask y'all a question, and we kind of joked about this in the beginning. Where do white people fit into Black history? I guess. Like, there's the obvious answer: they were slave owners. But let's dive into that, because I feel like in today's society, there's a lot of educating ourselves, especially, like, I don't want to just say our youth, but ourselves, on what exactly Black history means and so on and so forth. But I said it earlier, it's like, not only is it educating ourselves, but actually educating white people what it means, what we go through, so on and so forth. So where do white people play? And I don't even know if I'm right by saying white people, but I really don't care.
Is there like Is there proper like Caucasian's not right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I just feel like saying white people just sounds wrong.
It does sound weird,
right?
In today, but you know why? Because today's day and age, there's just so many like.
5 years ago, I would have never questioned that shit.
Yeah, but now it's like.
I mean, I really don't care. This is my podcast, so what you gonna kick me off?
Can we call them them?
Hello.
No.
Nah. All right, let's get back. So yeah, where do white people fit into to Black history?
Oh, yes. They don't.
Oh, okay.
Jinx, you owe me a shot.
They don't. And your education is not our job. Talk to your grandmammy who was at the picnics. Talk to her. Now, if you'd like to compensate financially some Black people to tell you about our trauma, I can send you an invoice.
Hey, that's real. Cause the same way like you have to pay your boy for some financial advice, like if you want to learn your history, the same way you would go to school and educate yourself.
Since we can't teach it in schools,
was it Florida that made it illegal to teach about? I'm gonna fuck this up.
CIT, critical race theory.
Maybe that's what it was. They did some like bogus,
I know
crazy.
they did something in Florida, and it's
Florida,
and it's illegal to hurt white people's feelings or something.
It was like
they passed a law.
Florida or Texas?
No, seriously, they passed a law.
Wait,
like that
what?
recently. Yeah,
bro.
they did.
It's illegal to hurt white people's feelings
Yeah,
in Florida.
yeah.
There was something about
They've been through so much,
Texas and or Florida that said something about teaching Black history in schools or something like that. Or and then there was another one that you can't call the KKK
terrorist organization,
something like that. Like and now like this is the thing about a podcast. You think about this shit on the spot, and there's no way to like really know. But yeah, there's that. But so you said it's not our job to educate white folks.
Florida bill to shield people from feeling discomfort over historic actions by their race, nationality, or gender approved by Senate committee.
That's crazy.
What?
That's
Fragility
can be defined as
what?
The caucasity.
That's very. You know what another, and I know this is not answering your question, but you know what another. I'm sorry.
Fuck my question.
I'm sorry. It blows my mind every day how from kindergarten and somewhat through 4 to 8, 12 years of college, we've just been lied to about our history.
Right.
Just straight
lie.
Straight lie too.
So that even leads me to one of my other questions.
I'll answer this one. I got you.
Well, no, I mean you could tie them both together, but I really want to dive into that point that you said about teaching white people about history. But we'll get back to that. So you said we've been lied to, right? Mm-hmm. So how should schools and businesses incorporate? And I know the obvious answer. Teach it. It should be part of the curriculum, right? But more than that,
I guess it has to. So what's a predominantly Avon, Simsbury, like a predominantly like white town, right? Like you think they want to hear about Black history?
But they need to, because that's why they asses get.
But you think they care? Yeah. That's when it comes down to it's like, do you care? You know, like when you go to college, you get to choose your courses, you get to choose your major. Like, yeah, I'm going to teach you. Like, they rather hear that Christopher Columbus came over. He was a nice guy. Now we have Thanksgiving, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, do you care, like, the nitty-gritty raw shit that happens? The people that do, y'all invited to the cookout. But, like, the rest, like, it's like, what's the point? Like, I don't know.
No white people come to your cookout?
Did you say not mine?
I did. I think we are way too scared as Black people to have our own spaces. And I'm not afraid to do that. There will be some that everyone can come to.
I got some genuine white friends,
and
though.
I said there will be some that everyone can come to.
Oh, but there does need to be some.
There's going to be some black shit.
And there's power in those spaces, too.
It is. It's power in those. Like, you know, one of those places where you don't got to say nothing to nobody. You just walking in, you like.
That part.
Never met the person the whole time of your life. Sometimes we need those spaces.
Yeah, because there's some nuances and idiosyncrasies that come with being black that, trust me, like white people, y'all try to be down. I get it. And, some part of me appreciates it. Some part of me gets offended. But it's like, you'll just never get it. Kind of the way Denzel Washington explained, I forgot the movie, but they were asking like, "Hey,
King Kong." My bad. I hear Denzel and I just want to do that. I'm sorry.
They were asking about some movie. It's like, so do you think a white producer could have produced it? He's like, no.
Oh, I think I saw that. Yep.
And he's like, it's not a race thing. It's a culture thing.
Yep.
It's like, you'll never understand what a hot comb on a Sunday morning before church smells like. That's culture.
The
so
fear.
you like there's things that you just can't.
Holding my ear down, just. Yeah. But that's the thing too. So from a historical point of view, a lot of slaves could not speak to each other. So we have languages without words. We have body movements. We have facial expressions. We have dancing. We do our hair in certain ways. We communicate in a lot of different ways because we couldn't verbally. So that's why other people wouldn't understand that. And that's why it's not my responsibility to teach you what I mean when I say... Everybody know what I mean, right? It's not my job to... HHHP means it's not my responsibility to do that. And I feel like when you ask the question about, well, what should schools do? The system wants to maintain itself.
It's normalcy.
The system is going to maintain itself. Are they going to put things in place? No. So how do we then create spaces where we learn our history in our own spaces? That's the important piece.
We have to create them.
But that's kind of like what I was saying earlier, right? When I was saying like, and this, let me know if I'm reaching, right? But that's what I was saying earlier about like, creating our own currencies, creating our own this, that, the third, because yes, that's on a much larger scale, right? But like you just said, we need to create our own space where it's safe for us to do X, Y, Z. We need to create these things because we've been running in these, and granted, we say Black history, but this history wasn't that long ago. You get like Martin Luther King would still be alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of these people would still be alive had they not got assassinated, arrested, X, Y, Z. You get what I'm saying? So yes, it's history, but when I think history, I think 1800s, way back when. So this history was yesterday.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, well, we've been running in the same circles for 20, 50, 100 years. At what point do we just say, create these spaces where, y'all not welcome over here?
Because you don't say it, you just have to do it. Like,
right.
They exist in places.
Yeah.
And we do. That's the thing. Because
HBCUs.
whatever we create will be destroyed.
Ooh,
We
say
see
it
that
again?
with Black Wall Street.
Yes,
Everything we create will be destroyed. That's why our currency has to switch up all the time. That's why our language switches up all the time. That's why slang don't stay popular for too long. That's why we do it. We move a lot. So we do have our own all of that.
Right.
It's just not centralized enough to where we can claim land or anything like that. But I think we do have to acknowledge those spaces where that does exist.
Yeah. So that's a powerful point. Back to, because I think it's funny. White people are invited to my cookout. So what about the be the white people that come across and they like almost more upset than you are about their family's history. So like, what about them? And then tying into biracial, the mixed folks, like.
I think
he's
I think absolutely there's space for allies, there's space for friendships, family, all of that. But I think again, exclusively Black spaces are Black because nobody goes to the boardroom at your job and says, "Well, how come everybody's white in here?" You guys all accept that that's the reality. So why, when we try to create those spaces, is it anything different from
why are you now
the
offended?
worlds that you already live in? You already live in an all-white world. So what is the offense? And again, we're coming back to my point. Thank you, Jesus. We're coming back to the point. Ownership of Black bodies. If we say something is Black, you don't even necessarily want to be there. You just want to know you have access. And you're going to do what you got to do to get access because you want to feel like you have access to Black bodies. So even when allies do that, that's a part of that privilege coming out of, there is no reason as an ally why you need to be in front of anything Black. period.
You just said a word that privilege, right? And a lot of white people don't know, one, what white privilege is and that they even got it. So is it one for us to educate them what white privilege is? And let's talk about what white privilege is to begin with.
I guess I'll start. I guess my perception of white privilege would be growing up with more opportunities, whether you take advantage of them or not. You know, you just have more avenues and more paths to succeed.
What's the word I'm looking for? I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, so it's like if people in the hood or the ghetto had the same opportunities and the same funds available to them as, you know, white people in certain areas, they are much more inclined to thrive. And it's like this race that we're running as human beings, they just have such a head start. Like if we're running, I don't know, the 1600,
we're running 32, they're running the 16.
Not even
to
like,
end at the same time.
Yeah, we're running 100, and the thing is, like, we still be busting their ass. It's like regardless, whatever.
Not to embarrass.
Like even no matter what limitations they give us, like we still excel. But it's like we had to do so much more, and that's a privilege. Like I see people with white privilege all the time. Like, yeah, my parents pay for this, my parents pay for that. I went to this school and this school. I didn't have to worry about anything. I have no student loans. Listen, that's fantastic. That's awesome. This is also giving me a view of like, I want to give that to my kids. But at the same time, if you were to grow up like me in my situation, I don't know if you would make it out the way I did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if you would have the same
we right
grit.
Here sitting at the same table.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd actually be here.
And we have two completely different stories.
Right.
I think privilege from a historical point of view means that when they were giving out free land, you were able to get some. And when they were doing, when they were selling homes in the beginning of America, you weren't redlined out to be able to get them. And when you needed a loan, you weren't disabled and able to get, like you had access to resources that we never had, because again, we kept talking about the rules changing. They kept changing the rules to try to keep us out. Privilege means that nobody changed the rules for you. All you had to do
in your favor.
Right, you had to learn how to play the game. Every time we learned how to play the game, y'all would change the rules. So privilege means that you didn't have systematic things set up against you. I think people think privilege, I was poor, okay, fine. But also too, like, you don't have two generations of family who couldn't own land because they were pushed into certain sections of the city where it's a cesspool and it's easily floodable. That's privilege right there. It's a difference between just access to money. It's access to laws that happened early in this country that put people ahead of where we are right now. This is only in the last generation were they able to own land to the same degree. So that's what, when we say privilege, that's what we mean. There weren't barriers put in the way for you to get where you were. And also, privilege is also having exclusively white places. Being the default is privilege. When I go to the store, they used to didn't have no stockings my color. They used to didn't have no makeup my color. They used to didn't have no wigs my color. Privilege means you can walk in anywhere and have access to what it is that you need. That's privilege. So it really frustrates me when people talk, right? It frustrates me when people talk about privilege meaning that you grew up poor. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you weren't poor for 6 generations because people ensured that you would be. That's the difference.
See, I was going to talk on that, but I can't follow that.
I'm glad. I'm glad you went after me because that's shit in our minds.
But you said something that made me think a lot, right? So I work in the school system. I work in the Hartford Public Schools, right? Now I just said Hartford, so you know it's predominantly minority. And somebody was saying something the other day at my job that, you know, do we have behavior issues? Yes, like every other school. But what you got to realize is right now, so let's say our sixth graders are technically fourth graders. Because COVID hit, they haven't really been in school for 2 years. So you're talking about maturity. Now they're starting to hit puberty. Whatever happened in those 2 years, whatever issues they're going on. Right, exactly. They've got a lot going on at home, right? Now, some of it is at home issues, right? But for some of these kids, teachers see these students more than these students see their parents. So in a lot of lights, we fill that shoe, right? Now, how is it that a lot of these kids are not looking at teachers, administrators that look like them? You know what I mean? And it's one of those things. Is like, I mean, you really can't control who goes to school to become a teacher and everything. But I look at my school, there's not really many people of color in power. You know what I mean? And then to even further that, let me ask y'all a question. When was the first time you guys had a teacher of color?
My kindergarten
I feel like you asked me this before, or maybe it was somewhere else, but
we've definitely had a conversation. My kindergarten teacher, Miss Reynolds, that was my first crush. She was tough.
She was a rat.
What? And I know because I was in kindergarten, I don't know her first name. So
if you're watching, Miss Reynolds from kindergarten.
Miss Reynolds, if you were at Bowers in whatever year. But yeah.
So after kindergarten, when's the next time?
Oh,
I know for me that I could remember was the 3rd grade. And the crazy shit is I went to an elementary school named Whiting Lane. But yeah, it was the 3rd grade. I don't even remember her name. I think her name was Miss Martin or something. But then after that, I think when I got to HMMS, which was a magnet school in the 6th grade. And I'm sure there's somebody I'm missing in between. But yeah, 3rd to 6th grade was the first time I really remember seeing teachers, admin that looked like me. And I could speak to even the school that I work at. And this is not anything against the teachers that I work with. There aren't many teachers of color.
Mm-hmm. Well, I grew up in Brooklyn, so I had black teachers.
It's better than the Bronx.
Until I came to Connecticut, and I ain't had no more college. But no, I think it's an access thing. It's a, the stuff starts early with access and application fees, and what does that look like? And if you're first generation, who helps you fill those out? And what schools do you go to? What does that look like? And getting into school, and can you manage school? And do you have? There are all these things, but I think when I think about systems, because schools are systems, they all follow that same trickle down effect. If you look at the bottom, they always find somebody black to clean the floors, to cook the food. But they can't never find nobody black to be no principal and on no board and no rule no school system. And again, it's just access.
That's true, yeah, because you asked, when's the first time you see a first black teacher? I done seen a lot of black lunch ladies.
Bro, that's a fact.
And
that's a fact.
All of them, yeah.
They will always find somebody to clean up the cut.
But then they'd be the first ones to talk shit about immigrants coming and take our jobs. No, we're just taking the jobs that y'all don't want to do and doing it better than you.
That part. Because you know what's funny? No matter what convenience store you go to in the country, a Middle Eastern person probably own that thing.
And that's a business. That's a business model.
Yeah.
They get here, they buy them up, they bring people over, then they make millions.
It's a family affair.
It's a business model.
When I was doing small business consulting, literally dude told me, he's like, yeah, no, I have 3 generations that live in my house. When my son turns 18, this is his. Yeah. I own 3 more. I'm going to go manage that one. When that kid turns 18, that one's his. Along the way, I'm going to buy some more and keep it going.
Bro, so get this. This girl that I work with, right? Her parents, so when she went to college, she stayed at home, right? And I think they charged her like $500, $900 a month in rent.
Her parents?
Right? Her parents did.
She could have
right?
out for that.
Nah, but get this. So when she graduated, all that money that they were taking from her, they then turned around and gave back to her and said, go buy a house, go do whatever you want with this money. But here's what I think 5-6 years worth of $900 a month in rent.
That's dope. I learned a different lesson. when I was 18 and didn't go to college, it was like, okay, well, you want to be a man, right? You want to still live at home, so now you got to pay bills. And I was just like,
but that's that difference. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a white family is gonna say like, all right, how can I set you up and help you? Whereas for us, we turn 18 and it's like, yo, you got to go get a job or start paying these bills. You're teaching responsibility and stuff, but bro, I'm 18, I'm still a kid.
Facts. Yeah.
How are
That's
you
the
helping me?
generational stuff.
Exactly. How are you helping break those generational curses if you doing the same shit that your parents did to you and their parents did to them? And granted, they didn't know. You can't fault them, but by now, you ain't like that shit.
Speaking to the generational curses, so I was just chilling with a bunch of my boys from high school, and I was at the age like where people are having kids, and one of my boys, his daughter, I believe, is like, yeah, that part.
Knock on it.
One of my boys' daughters, she's like 4 or 5, and his thing's like, she's not getting a phone anytime soon, and I'm like, okay, like a 5-year-old, they probably don't need a phone. But like the question was, all right, when do you give your child a phone? And, as a father, he was just like,
I didn't need one when I was 5.
That part. But it's like, bro, we've progressed so far. Like, you literally have the world in the palm of your hands.
See, but that would be why I wouldn't give my kid
But
a
there's
phone.
also, like, we're all adults. We don't look at the parental settings, but there are parental settings for your phone. But at the same time, it's your job. It's your responsibility as a parent. Listen, yeah, there's a lot of things that you could do on here that's not savory. But one of my other boys, his son, he uses Siri for everything. If he has a question, hey Siri, how is eye formation in football? Boom, does it, right? Like everyone's phone probably just
I'm not talking to you, Siri.
everybody's phone just went sick. Or like, hey, boom, he uses it constructively, right? So yeah, you're apprehensive. You don't want to give them a phone too soon, but this is also your job and your responsibility as a parent, as a leader, to teach them like, hey, listen, this is a huge responsibility that I will take away if you're not using it properly. Then here's how you use it properly. And you check it. And you give them certain times when I don't think any kid should be on their phone as much as I am. Because I look at my phone way too much.
Right. Except when you're ignoring me. But
You have to tell your business.
right? I'm saying.
I'm emotional.
It's
Let's
on
talk
Do Not
about
Disturb.
let's talk about something that's beautiful, strong, amazing, and all that cute shit.
Hey, you talking about my lady? No, I'm sorry.
I mean, actually, I am talking about your lady. That is it. Let's talk about black love.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah.
Nigga, what?
So no,
See, that's that language shit you was talking about. Like,
Is he blushing? Are you blushing?
he is. You ever see a black person blush? Zoom into him. Look at him. Look at him. Hey, come look at this. Look at this
First of
nigga.
all,
Look at this
don't,
nigga.
hell no.
Cover my face like it's me. No.
Hey,
I'm not blushing. So there is
We talking about your lady and you ain't blushing?
no. I don't blush.
Oh, he don't
But anyways,
cry either.
I don't. I've cried 3 times since I was 18. We can talk about it off camera.
I'm gonna start the clock.
This is monetized time.
Right.
So I'm so glad we got to this part, right? Because there is, and like these are all my people. I fuck with them the long way. But there's like mixed girl mob, right? They from Windsor. And it's just
What is that? Yo, as soon as you said Windsor, bro,
so how do we
are those adults?
like, I don't know if they still do this thing, but there was a bunch of like attractive mixed women, right? That were used to wear beanies, shirts, whatever. So we're talking about black
That's
love.
gotta be some Windsor shit, yo.
Of course. We're talking about black love, right? So how do we feel? Damn, I don't want to answer your question with a question.
Please do.
But it's like, how do we feel about the diversifying of love? So like the black and white. Interracial marital, that part. You see the camera? For everyone listening, I'm intertwining my fingers. Yeah, how we?
It's always interesting.
Like, what's your initial thought when you see it in public?
I mean, I don't think anything of it, but it's always interesting when it's like, oh, the black guy, why is he with a white woman, or vice versa, or the women took our man, or the man took our woman. It's like, people say that a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I started talking and I didn't really know what I was gonna say. To me, I'll put it like this. I don't got nothing against white women, but I couldn't see myself with a white woman.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
That part.
And like
it's a relatability thing.
It's a cultural thing. Yeah. It's a relatable.
I don't know if I made that word up.
All right, we're making words up today. But you know, like, and again, like, have I messed with white women? Of course, right? But when it's all said and done, I couldn't see myself with a white woman, like you said, culturally. Could I bring you to my family and you, why are they yelling? Yo, we Puerto Rican. They're not yelling. They just loud. Just you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm bringing you to the South and, park on the street. Is my car going to be safe here? I don't know. I lived here for 20 years and my car ain't never get touched. Why? Like, shit, like, things like you were saying earlier that it's not our job to educate you. It's like, there's a lot of things that you're not going to understand. And I don't feel like, and a lot of things I won't understand going around your family, right?
Why does potato salad taste like that? I got
but you know what I mean? And it's like, granted, I've got plenty of white friends and like, that's a different conversation, but there's certain things that I just don't feel like when it comes to my intimate personal life that I feel like going through. And like J. Cole said, I'm sitting at the table and it feels like a job interviewing here, right? Your parents, and then granted, this could not be your parents, but I guarantee you someone in your household, whether it's your grandparents, cousin, brother.
I know your brother don't like me.
Right, but guess what? Oh, he got tattoos, locks, and a beard. Motherfucker had a master's degree at 22 years old.
Impressive.
You know what I mean? I played professional sports. I went to a university that's in the top 5% in the world. Y'all want to talk, you want to talk shit, what up? Yeah. And I could do this and talk like this, and then I can also say, hello, Jimmy, how are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, but I don't feel like I should have to do that.
It's Jimbo. But
but that's like to each his own. I say all that to say to each his own. Me personally,
I think love is love. And
right.
People that bash people from their own race, I always put my little eyebrow up. Because how you hate your mama, that doesn't make any sense. So like, date what you like. And if you like this kind of person, there's no need for you to talk about these people at all.
Right.
And specifically, if you like white women, don't bring black women up. We're not a part of that. Like, that's the thing, too. People would get on there and be like, I don't like black women because nobody asked you about black women. We said, what do you like? That's the difference. It's the bashing that I don't understand. And when you get to bashing, that's when I know that that's a deeper issue. But love who you love, man. You see Kanye went out and got his woman. Look how well they're doing.
That ended yesterday. I don't know if you know.
What?
Kanye and the white woman.
I was talking about Kim.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought there was a sarcastic tone here.
Because he said when you get on leave your asshole, he left. He went for a white girl. Now he happy, right?
Yeah. I guess this all comes down to preference, really.
So what about preferences?
It's prejudice.
Woo!
Preference is I like green. Prejudice is fuck black, fuck yellow, fuck red, fuck blue. If you like green, the fuck you talking about other colors for?
But see, that's our generation. I think social media has a lot to do with that because it's like, hey, just because I like this, I don't like that. And here's all my reasons why I don't like it. All right, bro.
That's not this generation.
So should we just fight?
I was a black girl who went to school in the suburbs and went to school in West Hartford, and black men and black boys made it very, very clear that they were not interested in black women because of all the traits about black women they did not like.
Let me ask
so
you.
It's not a generational thing. It is a thing that black men do.
But you're talking about our generation. Oh, you're talking about older men at the time.
I'm talking about older generation. I'm talking about our generation. I'm talking about younger. I don't think it's just a generational thing. I think it's just for some reason we need to bash black women thing.
So let me ask you, son. So you say you went to school in West Hartford, right? How about that thing and it's like, oh, you sound white, or you acting white, like you black, but I'm sure you've heard it.
Oh yeah.
When in reference to like, you talk proper.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or like, there go that proper black guy dating a white woman. You know what I mean? Like that's. I get that's prejudice.
It is prejudice, right? And I think too, when people say talk white, they're only talking language, but we don't remember the inflections and the little thing. Because I could say, yo, that shit dope. Or I could say, yo, that shit is dope. It's not about the words. It's not about the words. It's about the inflection. So it really bothers me when people say, I don't talk white. I no big words. We're not talking about your word preference. We're not talking about your word choice. We're talking about your inflections. You know?
No, that's a fact. So let me ask y'all, agree or disagree, and I feel like I'm going to regret saying this, but there is a correct answer to this question. Okay? People of color.
Raisins don't go in potato salad.
In fact, raisins, do we really need them in society? Let's make the next show
when
about
they're covered,
preference.
When they're covered by chocolate, yes.
Yeah.
Now you're talking.
Chocolate covered, everything's a little better. Covered in chocolate, you dig?
Now you're talking. I can't.
People of color cannot be racist. True or false?
True.
You said true? Mm-hmm. Could you explain?
I'll give you the answer after. I just want to know what you think.
I can't be racist?
Yeah.
I've never really. This is wow. This is a new thought for me. She said true, but I'm just curious as to why.
So
wait, hold on. I want to hear her.
Okay, because racism
is it majority?
Indicates their systems. Mm-hmm. If I don't like white people, I have a prejudice, but I can't create any systems that would disenfranchise white people. And therefore, I cannot be racist.
And it's about the majority. So racism is actually majority speaking down upon a minority. You get what I'm saying? So the majority in society would be white people. You get what I'm saying? So I can be prejudiced.
Yeah.
Right? But I can't, by definition,
be racist.
Wow.
Well, I definitely learned something new today.
And people will try to argue that. You know what I mean? And I'm not sitting here saying
there's prejudice.
Right. Like prejudice don't make me right.
Right.
You know, prejudice. I'm sure we'd all done said some prejudice shit on this episode.
Never.
but
I love all people.
But you get what I'm saying? Like
all lives
there's
matter.
a difference between prejudice and racism.
Yes.
Is prejudice?
Prejudice.
We all making words today.
Making up words.
Prejudice.
But you know what I mean? There's a difference. But because racism is geared towards us.
I think it's silly for any group of people to hate another group of people because most of the time it just comes down to understanding. And
ignorance.
Yeah, and ignorance is bliss. And people rather be ignorant and stay in their linear train of thought than expand their horizons and be like, oh, shit, like, you're right. Raisins don't go in potato salad.
That's going to be the title of this episode.
That is.
Raisins don't go in raisins and potato salad.
Raisins and potato salad.
Shit.
What happens to a raisin in the sun? It goes in the potato.
Depends on whose son.
Man.
Yo, Bart.
Yeah. On that note, we'll go into our local broadcast. Shit, this is the How'd I Get Here podcast, man. This is why I love doing this shit so much. This was dope. We've been chopping it up about an hour. I'm going to ask y'all one more question, and then we'll wrap up with our 15 seconds of fame. Is there anything else we should hit on that we didn't hit on? Anything? I mean, it's Black History Month.
Hey, I mean, shout out Sha'Carri Richards. I'm still a huge fan.
Me too.
Like, what?
Me too.
Yeah. She's cool. I just think
she doesn't have media training.
No, I don't give a fuck about that.
Okay.
I'm talking about straight about the sport side of it. Like,
yeah,
she's good, but there's a lot of people that are a lot better.
Yeah, and based on the times, like the Olympics showed that.
So I'm saying it's like whether or not, like, were you ever really going to win right now? Probably not.
You never know. I don't know.
I mean, the 7 people in front of her would have had to disqualify Tripp or
did they have better qualifying times?
She might have made the final race, but she would have came in 8th.
Oh wow. Okay.
You know what I mean? Or she definitely wouldn't have.
I think there's a different type of adrenaline, and you're a competitor. There's a different type of adrenaline.
Bro, that adrenaline ain't getting her from 8th to top 3. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Either way, shout out.
But I'm saying like
I like that song.
the other side of it, I fuck with her 100%.
Yeah.
Be you, queen. Talk your shit. But in terms of like actual sport, like, sis, you right now, and she's also young.
She's like 20, 21.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying like she got mad time. Like she's racing against women who.
These are their second and third time at the Olympics.
Which is why I'm saying like sis got time.
Yeah.
And I'm just talking about the sport side of it. That other shit, talk your shit.
Facts.
Who stop you? I don't care about that.
And smoke your
media
weed.
training. And smoke your weed. Smoke it. We got to do another weed episode, but it's crazy. I don't smoke, but all right. One last question, then we'll hop into our 15 seconds of fame. What, in a few words or statement, what does Black history mean to you? And I'll give y'all a couple seconds to think about it. And the two words that popped in my mind were empowerment and education. But not only for ourselves, but our future, our youth. And when I think empowerment is to show people like, listen, you guys can think what you want to think, treat us how you going to treat us, but we still here and we not going nowhere. So that when I think empowerment, that's what I think. Like, it's fucked up that we have to have 1 month to focus on us because we great 12 months out of the year. But we gonna power through and be like, listen, yo, we gonna kick y'all ass regardless. So those are the two words and statement that kind of I was thinking of earlier.
To be honest, I don't want to go first, but I also don't want to go after you. But I
just went first, so you go second.
Did you? You gave an example. Oh yeah, I guess you did go. All right, so
it's the ghost. Don't worry.
No, I was laughing at y'all's interaction there.
I guess it wasn't good enough.
My bad.
When I think about Black history, you right, my shit gonna be deep as usual.
She said you right.
let me scooch up to the mic. Scooch. When I think about Black history, I think about reminding, right? So we learn about ourselves first as slaves, and to me, Black history is a reminder of like, we are the first humans, reminder that we are the original DNA, reminder that skin and light eyes is a genetic mutation. We are the original humans, a reminder that our gods predated theirs, predated everything they talking about. It's a reminder that we have magic in our words. So when I think about Black history, for me, it's a reminder that we are, like, not even great, not dope, we're the original being. And the more we remember that, the easier it will be to navigate this system and start knocking them out. Like, we do this.
I like that. We are.
Yeah, that's
that's deep.
That's it.
So
can I say something? Good luck following that one.
Yeah. And you know, I'm not. No, I'm joking. Yeah, it's funny. I was just thinking of greatness. But obviously we are. It's just better. But again, when I think back of our history, as unfortunate as it may have seemed in the time that it was happening, it really set the tone for our greatness that is now, right? And to come. It's tough. Yeah, I got a lot of emotional thoughts coming in my mind, but yeah, no, I just think greatness. I think it just sets the tone for how great Black people can be and will be, so long as we rise to the occasion.
Word. Well, shit, those were some great answers, better than mine, but mine was just an example.
I thought you. My bad.
Well, I was supposed to have two answers?
Nah, you lead a question like, yo, for example, but that's how I felt it was.
Yeah, normally you say, for example, when it's an example.
There was
no
that was my answer.
But shit, as you know, we like to end every episode with 15 seconds of fame. So you get 15 seconds to look. We only got one camera. But one day we'll be able to look at that camera, that camera.
And then somebody's going to be swiveling.
Manifest it.
Yes, manifest big facts. So we right now going to look into that camera. And it don't have to do anything with what we just talked about. It could be shouting out whoever, whatever. And we'll go that way, and then finish with the GOAT.
He's on first.
Yeah. Ladies first. Queens first.
Okay.
I didn't know who we hit first, to be honest with you. I just know I got hit.
That's I wasn't sure.
Are y'all done?
I wasn't clear. Yeah, so check me out. So my website is knowledgeofself.com.
Queen got a website.
NALEJ of self.com. Knowledge is actually my name spelled backwards.
That's
Yes,
hard.
Yes, it is. So check me out on my website. Please check out my TED Talk. There's a direct link to my talk. Please like and share that. I also do workshops and trainings about dialectical behavioral therapy, but I also create custom trainings and workshops for agencies. My latest two are Yukon and Crack. So I do big bodies. We do big things.
Yeah, big got ting, yeah.
So please reach out. Please reach out for that as well. And look out for me. This is going to be one like, I saw her on that show. Watch out for me because I intend to be a motivational speaker on the same level as Brene Brown. She's one of my...
Go ahead, Queen.
She's one of my gurus. And just look out for me and support me throughout the way. I'm going to always talk my shit and I'm going to always be real. And I'm always be me.
And she's not going to put raisins in her potato salad.
That part.
No raisins. Maybe crazy. Not
potato salad?
Not potato salad.
Chicken salad, maybe.
Crazy. Yeah, you're right.
Chicken salad can give it a little tang.
Give it a little.
Yeah. Miracle Whip. So.
Where's the Miracle?
Where's the Miracle Whip? I'm not a mayo fan. I prefer Miracle Whip. Sorry.
On Black History Month? Damn! Ancestors mad as hell. Y'all felt that breeze? They're like,
Boo, child.
We're not with that.
Things are gonna get
my
easier.
Jamaican ancestors like, what? Take the what? Leave the what? All right.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So, yo, I appreciate the hell out of you, but I just don't like following you. So, my 15 seconds of fame, just keep going. You don't know what's on the other side of that wall that you may think is Mount Everest, but once you get over it, it could be greatness. It might not be, but at the same time, it could be greatness. Just keep going. What's the... I lost my thought. The Miracle Whip is really weighing on my head right now. Yeah, like, what's the deficit of not going? Like, failure is only you stop not applying yourself, and your chair is squeaking. That's it. I couldn't follow you. I botched my 15 seconds.
I'll go last next time.
No.
Listen, you might have to, but you got to get my last part down, Pat. You can practice later, but first of all,
he be having it written out. I'm sorry.
He's a hater because my shit comes off the dome every week. It don't.
Off the dome?
Yeah.
Sometimes I watch you read it.
Ooh.
No, I might have wrote it during the episode, but I
telling
thought about it. He's a hater. You see this?
See this? You just not gonna
Raisins.
lie to me on camera.
Raisins.
That's our keyword. Raisins.
That's it.
We're gonna talk about that later. It's all off the dome. That last little part where you the shit. That's the off the dome.
You right.
Oh, see, I'm right.
Talk your shit, King.
Appreciate you. First of all, thank you for pulling up, coming through, blessing the podcast. You're always welcome back. We definitely gonna have you back. This was great. Thank you to another dope spot for hosting us. Maybe one day we will find a forever home, and
one day you will.
Yes, one day we will find a forever home and not be homeless anymore. Thank you to the team that helps us every week with recording and making this a possibility. I don't give you guys enough praise and roses.
So, we got a team now. And it's growing.
It's growing. We getting there.
Yeah.
Little by little. My 15 seconds, and this might be another thought, but you don't ever actually lose your passion. Your point of view and love just changes. And that actually was off the dome. Find that on that paper. Fool. Let me scroll real quick so you can't find it. But with all that being said, this was a great episode. This is the hottest podcast, CET. We got the future. Well, she did a TED Talk. We got the future motivational speaker of the country on the podcast. And this is the greatest podcast in CET. And that's a motherfucking rap. You don't believe it? Then get with us and get gone.